Welcome back, everybody. Today is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, January 4th, 2025. And what are we doing? We are working on my Can-Am Spyder. So listen, I am not a BRP tech. What I'm about to do, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. This is for entertainment purposes only. So today, what are we doing? We are replacing the back tire. We're at least gonna remove it. That thing is super bald, isn't it? I'm a bad person for letting it to get this bad. So what I try to do is I try to show people that you can use just standard hand tools to work on a Can-Am Spyder. I used to live in Ohio via the plates. I have recently, within the last year, moved to Texas. I didn't have a garage back home. I do have a garage here, so you can do about anything to these Spyders. If you have a garage, if you don't have a garage, if you just have standard hand tools. So we are going to today get the tire removed. I'm not gonna show piece by piece by piece. I'm just gonna kind of go over, you know, this is what you do to take this off, to remove this. The first thing I have done is I removed the seat. I removed the Schrader valve out of the air spring. That way, when I disconnect that bottom shock, I can move that trailing arm up and down. So we'll get started. All right, everybody. So we have the Spyder lifted off the ground. Let's see if we can do it this way. There we go. I did go out and get a motorcycle jack, but I've used a floor jack in the past to always lift this. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off these caliper mounting bolts. It mounts it to the bracket. So you remove these 16 millimeter right here. Just using hand tools, everybody. That's all I'm using, just hand tools. Yeah, we remove that and then I'll be back. Okay, so things to watch out for back here is you have this ABS sensor. You can unbolt it and just kind of tie it up so it's out of the way. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on these brake lines. So if you want to support your caliper, you can. And then when you remove this caliper, make sure that the parking brake is not engaged. You can remove the rear muffler if you want, just so you have a little bit more room. I did remove this back piece of plastic. I haven't had mine on there for a long time. I kind of like the look of it not being on there. Plus I can see how bald my tire is. Like I said, I'm bad. So now that we got that, what I'm going to do is I will loosen the axle nut, and I do believe it's like a 32 millimeter or 36 millimeter, something like that. I'm just going to loosen this, and then we will we'll be back. All right, welcome back, everybody. So 32 millimeter axle nut. Hopefully you can see it right there. Loosen that. Okay. Then you come under and you find your shock bolt right here. Loosen the nut side. It'll make it a lot easier. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lower the Spyder until this tire just touches. And what that's going to do is going to take the weight off of this bolt. Because once you remove this bolt, the Spyder is going to be able to go up and down because you don't have any suspension mounted to it. So don't drive that bolt out because the tire will fall to the ground. And don't have a lot of pressure on this bolt when you remove it. That way you don't get hurt. So you just put enough pressure on this to where this bolt's loose. You pull the bolt out. You have these little spacers. And I'll show you once I get those out. And like I said, so far it's pretty easy. And we're going to do a little recap. Remove the caliper. Don't let it hang. Don't pinch your wire to your ABS, and if you remove your ABS, you got these little shims in there. Make sure you put the exact same amount of shims in, because if not, it's going to throw off everything from your stability system to your brakes to everything, because that gap to that reluctor wheel needs to be what it was set up at the factory. So I'm going to lower the jack and we're going to remove that nut. Okay, so This is gonna be difficult to show you, but I just have enough pressure on this tire and I can take this and work it back and forth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen, push that bolt through. There, so now it's removed. The Spyder's suspended. Shock is no longer attached. I'm gonna remove these pucks, just kind of spacers. And then we can remove this. Okay, shock is not attached. Here, we're gonna take this nut off. And this is where it'd be nice if the muffler was not here. And I put some penetrating fluid on it just in case I have to remove this. That way we can push out the axle, but we'll see. I will be back. Like I said, I'm not just setting this up, doing it in real time. But so far, you know, I haven't worked on this long. Just a couple bolts, and we're about ready to roll this this wheel out. So I'll be back. Right, everybody. Now we are going. All right, everybody. We're gonna do a correction. Hands dirty. I've been working. So I went ahead and removed the ABS sensor because I forgot this big brace comes out with the wheel. I used a, oh, it's hard to see. Well, my Craftsman tool is not telling me what I used. It's either a 4, 5, or 6 millimeter. And then, like I said, when you remove that, here's the bolt. Here's the 3 shims. Those have to go back in there. You cannot lose these shims. So keep them safe. Keep them very safe. Guard them with your life. And then I have a little brass hammer. I love my little brass hammer. You can kind of whack on things and it's not going to hurt the threads. So come over here. What a gorgeous day out. So I just kind of started pushing the axle through. See here? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of grab it. And we're going to work it through. Now mine is covered in grease because I lived in Ohio and it's yucky up there, salt. Go ahead and pull out this adjuster. And then I'm gonna have to clean everything up very well when we put this all back together. Pull this one out. Right, grab this. And we're gonna raise the Spyder up. And we're gonna raise the Spyder up so we can just roll the tire right out. Yeah, let's see if we can do it there now. Move the axle out of the way. Bring you over here. Belt is off. See, we're hitting. You guys tell me when I'm done jacking here. There we go. Pull the pucks out. See the puck? Check that bearing. Yeah, it feels okay. Then can we remove this? bit at a time. Ooh. The cush drive or whatever they call these. They just come out. And then we can feel this bearing. Yeah, it feels good. I don't know about this bearing. So this one over here. Might have a little noise to it. Yeah, I might have to look at that bearing. Oh, and as my tire's trying to roll away. And then all we got to do is unbolt the rotor, and I'll probably use, oh, here. Remove this one too. That one goes over there. Put them back in the exact same spot. And then we'll unbolt the rotor, and I'll use a gun on that. So I guess we can do that right now. Gun cheap. What size do you think that is? 13? Looks like a 13. There you go. So let's talk tools. One rotor off. Let's check this bearing. Yeah, bearing feels good. So as I put these up. Welcome back, everybody. 57% on this battery. We're gonna have to make this quick. So I went and got my new tire mounted. I do not mount the tires here. I don't have the equipment. I took it down to Discount Tire. I live in San Antonio, so I took it down on 35. They're everywhere. They mounted the tire, put a new valve stem in it, and kept the old tire. They charged me like 17 bucks. Now, I don't have them balance it because it will not fit on an automotive balancer. So what I use is Ride On. It is a puncture slash balancer. You don't need to have any weights on your wheels, and you just squeeze the stuff in. Now, it's best if you have this thing standing up on the tread, but my back sometimes doesn't allow me to stand there and hold the tire while I put this stuff in, so I just do it this way. Now, when you first put this in and you go for a ride, your Spyder is going to shake everywhere until this ooze works around. It usually takes less than a mile, but then we get on the highway, it'll do it a lot quicker. So all we do is we attach this here. After you take all the air out of the tire, you have to take the core out, okay? Don't leave the core in because it's not going to do anything. You have to take the core out, and then you just squeeze it in. Ugh, my hands don't like that, so I'm gonna work on this. All right, everybody, so I hope you guys don't mind how I'm doing this video. I'm not just doing one shot because I'm cleaning things up as I go. I'm just cleaning things up, right? You don't need to see me cleaning things up. So cleaned up the rotor somewhat, and we got to put it on. Do not put the exciter ring down, right? ABS is not going to work. It goes this way, arrow, boom. Line up your holes. It's that easy. Definitely look in the book and get the torque spec, hand torque everything if you can. I did put 2 bottles of the, I don't know, it's like 12 ounce Ride On in it, 8 ounce, 2 8-ounce bottles. And that seems to do good on the rear tire. I put 1 in each front tire. So yeah, so I'm gonna put the rotor on, and then we're going to do the cush drive. So let's do this. Look at this. I forgot. This is telescoping. Now everything is Loctited from the factory. You take that information and do with it what you will. Kids are out having a good time, living in a nice quiet neighborhood. Not hammering them home by no means. Grab the hand ratchet. There we go. I only had a couple that were looser than the others, and we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna set it down nice and easy on that rotor. We're gonna blow that out, and we're gonna get the cush drive. These only go in one way. So you don't need to pay attention on how they came out, because they won't go in. See, won't go in, so. And then we grab this, we line these up to fit here. And then we want these to go over. We don't want it to be this. See that? This is wrong. And then if this doesn't want to go on, you can just take a little bit of dishwashing liquid, some cleanup stuff. I'm just going to put some wheel bearing grease on some places, and we're back. I'm just gonna put a little bit where those bearings ride. Had a little too much. Just the slightest of saturation on that. All right, let's get our tire. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. I'm gonna take our puck, I'm just gonna slide it in there. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Have our puck. Slide our belt on. Now, how we're doing it this way, we should not have to adjust these adjusters because we never did anything with them. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lowering the Spyder to where we can put that axle in. So I'll be back. So what I've done, I'm sweating. Welcome to Texas in January. So what I've done is I've lowered the Spyder just to where I can start pushing that axle through. Now this can be a little on the challenging side, because then what you have to do is this piece here has to come up and it'll fit here, and the axle then has to slide through all of that. And lining it up can be difficult. Let's see if we can make this play out in real time. Makes it a little harder when you're filming. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so I need to bring the back of this. Oh, the thing didn't go through. This mounting bracket. Okay. There we go. January in Texas, it's like 80 degrees. So now we have our mounting caliper plate, and this is what happens when you're riding the salt. That is all salt damage, so I need to get that sanded up and painted. And then we're gonna run the axle nut on just to hold it a little bit so it doesn't come back out. I don't think it would, to be honest with you. And then we're going to line up that shock bolt. I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so it's hard to see. This here is the bottom of your shock, and this is the mount. So we need to put this in. Push it back toward the tire. Right? Can you see that? That went in. And then we have these pucks. Once again, push it back toward the tire. Slide a puck in. Take your other puck and see how they're, hopefully you can see that. This bigger end goes to the outside. All right. So now we're just going to lower. You probably can't see anything. We're just going to lower the Spyder. Until this bolt let me do it this way. Until we get this bolt pushed through. I think I need to bring it down just a tad bit more. There we go. That's in. We're going to tighten it up as I come to you from the ground. So we're going to tighten it up. We're going to tighten up the axle when we're done. The next video, I will show you how to change pads. So this is going to be like a two-part. So let me get out from underneath the Spyder here really quick. So let me tell you just a little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm not a BRP tech. I was an automotive tech for 30 years. My body gave out. I'm about done. I can't do much more than what I've done tonight. I have bad hips and bad lower back. If I can do this with hand tools, I did use my air compressor to air up the tire after I put my ride-on in it. Everything else has been hand tools. It's easy to do. But keep in mind, I am not a tech. I am not a certified BRP tech. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do this. This is for entertainment purposes only. So like I said, I'm going to tighten up that lower shock bolt. I'm going to torque the axle nut. I think it's 155. And then I'll make a second video probably tomorrow on how to change those rear brake pads. And like I said, it's January in Texas and I'm sweating like a stuffed pig. So if you could, give me a big thumbs up. Stay safe, everybody. I'll see you down the road.